Okay. I had a really wonderful conversation with a client yesterday about search generative experience.
Mm.
Mm.
And I want to workshop this together as a group because we're all about to get questions about this.
Mm.
Um, as of April 17th, 2024, um, the rumor is that Google will release this on May 14th, 2024. That's because this is the day of Google I/O. Google I/O is their big announcement for developers, but they always have marketing stuff because ultimately Google is a marketing company.
Mm-hmm.
If you can spare the time, some of it will be while we meet, but it's worth signing up for Google I/O and attending some of those webinars. They're free. Like just Dave could go potentially. I think it's in California, but the rest of us will have to be virtual.
Yeah, Dave,
Uh,
that's your project. Go to all
go
of
go to
those
I/O
and
for
report
us, Dave.
back.
No.
So the rumor is that Google's going to announce SGE on May 14th, which is the first day of I/O. Even if they don't roll it out, I'd suggest, based on my past experience watching I/Os, they will definitely announce it. And they might have like a time frame in the next 3 months, and we all know how Google does this, right? It's going to be released next 6 months. It 6 months comes and goes, and they say, well, it will be released in another 6 months, and then suddenly, surprise, there it is, right? That's typically how Google does stuff, right? Which is actually good for us, but um, with search generated experience, which is the idea that Google will be transitioning into a ChatGPT model where people will ask a question and they will answer the question in their search results rather than provide 10 blue links to websites. How will this affect our SEO strategy? Is the question. Now, another rumor, well, yeah, I'll get to the other rumor at the end. Number one, when I'm saying I had a really good call with a client the other day, I'm not being facetious. It was a really, really good call. The end of the call was, we're so glad you're here, David. And so I hope all of you have we're so glad you're here conversation with your clients, right? Because the fact is, if we're doing the right things for SEO, they're going to outlive SGE, even if we lose 10 blue links. Okay. So number one, I've said it before. As AI generated content, the last thing from Google is they are considering AI generated content low quality content. And they are, when they can identify it, suppressing it. Also, AI generated content is only learned language model content. In other words, it's an algorithm that predicts what the next word's going to say, right? So it's not really intelligent. It's a statistical model predict what likely the next word in the phrase would be, or next idea, right? So by definition, that is recycling existing content. AI will never say something new. It might be good enough to say it right, but it's only right based on its inputs, and it's only able to rephrase what's already been presented. So you may have heard a Google update at the end of last year called what was it called? Helpful content update. One of the data points from the helpful content update is that Google's like, we're tired of seeing y'all write the same crap on all your websites. Write something helpful. Write something new. Say something no one's ever said before. Does this sound familiar to you? Because AI can't do that. So if you're not cutting corners and hiring writers to do research of content, you're setting yourself up for success, because then you become the source of information for the search generative experience, right? Because the SGE is not going to want to just regurgitate, because that's all it's doing, with something someone else regurgitated. They're going to look for new stuff. If you have the new stuff, you're going to be the source. And you're going to be considered credible as a website, because that's what this helpful content update did. It's not just, we're going to suppress the content on your website we don't think is helpful. Is that the amount of non-helpful content on your website reflects on the quality of your website as a whole. So if you have a lot of just the same old stuff everyone says, even if it's unique enough and passes plagiarism checks, Google's going to say, oh, that website's just not a very credible website, because it's just not really saying anything new. So this informs our strategy too, not just don't do AI content, but hire writers. But less frequent, better thought out expert writer articles are going to be better. So we need to get away from our clients expecting X blog posts a week or a month, and take the time to write good, interesting stuff so that it passes the helpful content barrier, which then can be incorporated. And if Google's quoting us in their answer, that increases the odds not only of us being cited as the answer, but also I'd say will appearing in the 10 blue links, which will still appear after the SGE. So if someone says, how do I, what do I need to look for in a widget? SGE might answer that question. Here's the things, the criteria to pick the right widget. Well, the next question for you is, where do I get that widget? That is a great 5 blue links or 10 blue links answer. And so if Google is picking your how to pick the right widget content, I'm suggesting to you, predicting the future so we can all laugh when I'm wrong later, I'm suggesting to you that you're going to be more likely to appear in the 10 blue links underneath that question, because you've already been identified as authority on that topic. So because we're doing the right thing for SEO, and we're not approaching SEO as a playing the game and trying to cut corners, we're going to outlast this algorithm update. Okay? 2, rank is going to become even less relevant in an SGE world. Google for a long time has been moving away, and this is why I keep telling people, like, rank is dead, rank is dead, rank is dead. Google has been pushing organic searches below the fold for years. They want to keep you on their website, and they've done it by filling, the ranking 0, featured snippets is the first effort there. Burying organic under 3, 4 paid search listings. This is one of the functions of local listings, is to bury organics, right? If they can keep you on their website, even better. This is just the next iteration, pushing organic down on the list. So it's going to be less important to rank, because the ranks aren't going to show up, but the value is going to be traffic that leads to customers. And if we've already got our customers thinking in terms of traffic that leads to clients or customers or sales, when they're disappointed because they don't rank, maybe they don't rank, or they rank number 1, but the traffic has dropped off because but they look at the overall traffic and they look at the overall conversions. That's going to be a lot easier pill to swallow than, I'm worried about my rank, right? Another thing that's going to outlast search generated experience is local listings. Like Trisha, you're in the right business,
I was
right?
just, when you were saying that, I'm just thinking, well,
Yeah,
local listings
local
is,
listings going to last.
yeah,
That's a Google product. They're going to protect that.
yeah.
And that's going to be pretty important to make sure you not only have one, but it's optimized. I was just out of curiosity because I'm staying in this
Mhm.
co-working space. I was like, I wonder if there are any SEOs in this co-working space. So I did a Google search SEO near me to
Mhm.
see if anybody showed up
Mhm.
in a couple blocks around here
Yeah.
or even in this building. 3 or 4 of the SEO companies that are right around this places, their local listings aren't claimed and their websites 404. Or even better, one of the websites has an SSL certificate, but they didn't update the link. So it comes to a warning
Yeah.
page. Like,
Yeah.
all right, well, I'm pretty secure with my SEO business if that's the way they're going to run theirs.
Yeah.
So
And the local listings, I've seen so many issues with not understanding and having it set up improperly to where they spend a lot of time on it and then down the road could actually lose it or have it. So yeah,
mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
for sure.
So especially if you're a local business, that's worth a lot, right?
Yes.
So we know Trisha is an expert in this, and we also are thankful Trisha rewrote our process for this recently. So double check that. Make sure you got your P's and Q's in order. Another thing that will always change, or that won't change, is like, but change slightly. Guest blogging
Mhm.
is going to be really interesting. We used to kind of focus on like, okay, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, was our guest blogging strategy. We wrote in your blog, we don't care about you anymore, moving on to the next blog. I'd say now, I'd almost be more willing to contribute to a blog if number one, it actually has a following, and even if I don't get a followable link that gives me SEO credit, because that website has an audience already. And if I'm going to use the power of their ability to promote that socially through their emails to get notoriety for my business. And if I get a followable link, I still get the credibility from that. So link building is still going to be important, that we show up on other websites so that we can be found, so we can benefit from the marketing efforts of them pushing their website. So, PBN crappy blogs that no one reads that we might have used to, and I hope you're not contributing to anything like that, but we used to do it. I used to do it, right? Those are worthless under SGE because first of all, the content's pretty crappy, so Google's not going to serve it. But second of all, they don't even have an audience. So maybe the standard for contributing to a blog has how many Facebook followers they have, how many followers on LinkedIn, how big is their email list? And if we can contribute in that, it's not going to necessarily affect our SEO, but it's going to bring us traffic and customers,
Mhm.
right? And we can still take credit for that because we helped get their placement in that website. Speaking of email, like I think email is such an underrated but super valuable marketing channel, and it's so easy to pivot. I am making sure every one of my clients has an active email list. And it is, heck, start with MailChimp and just start there, right?
The one
Now,
list you own those addresses.
you own
You
those
can't
people.
have it taken away like your Facebook. I constantly see my Facebook page was taken away. I can't contact people anymore.
Right.
You own that, your
Yeah.
own email.
That kind of marketing is going to be super. It's so not glamorous. Like who was I talking to last week who wanted to do a TikTok thing, and I'm just like, the fact is you have to have an email address to have a TikTok account. So like,
Yeah.
so like let's double down on our emails, like lead magnets. making sure we get consent to add people to our email list when they fill out a form. Like give them an opportunity to fill out, just to simply join your email list, even if it's just that simple. Just join my email list. Like if you have relevant people who are interested in what you have to do, you don't have to have 1,000 people in your email list. I'd rather have 50 of people who really want to hear from me than 500 people I've randomly gotten their email from somewhere and didn't really ask for them permission to market them. And I'd much rather have 50 good people. And one of my clients, it's like they're hilarious. Like we can just every few months we kind of send out some email like, oh, so how are you gonna do this? Yeah, here's an idea we had. Immediately get clients, just one or two, but they're always big numbers as far as value, right? Because the list is so relevant. So if this is a way to kind of take advantage of the traffic you're getting to get more out of it for the client. So making sure you have an opt-in, and you really need to make sure that you don't auto check the opt-in. You don't assume that because they sent their email that they've given you consent to market to them, and don't burn that list because those are valuables. Don't cheese them off. And maybe I've got some learning to do with this, with even reliable or curious ants, right? Because I think I over email everybody. But point is, like, own your stuff. And I think these things together are going to be like, those of us who've been doing SEO right, we don't have to worry about this. Things are going to change. We might have some clients frustrated. This might be the final straw for some clients who are like, I'm tired of this. I'm just going to pay Google for the traffic and do paid search, because paid search is still going to work. That's how Google makes their money.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing I wanted to add too. The other rumor with SGE is that they're going to charge for access like ChatGPT. And so if that happens, some people are going to pay for it, but not everybody's going to pay for it. And that's going to be the best case scenario for those of us doing SEO, because only those who pay for SGE are going to use it, and then everybody else gets the same stuff, right? Now they're probably going to add to the beginning, pay for SGE and you get a more complete answer, or here's a partial answer. Don't you sign up and get the full answer? I mean, they're going to do stuff like that, but it's going to push organic down and stuff like that. But organic will not die. I've been through several earth-shattering Google updates, pandas and penguins, and I saw SEO companies go under. And it's mostly the companies that are trying to approach SEO as a game to beat Google.
Yeah.
Rather than real marketing that actually, I think Stephanie and I are thinking about the same dude who used to really think of the S as a big game. As a friend of ours, is that the right word, friend? Anyway, a friend of ours who really it was all a game, and he burned many clients when they're very Google big updates. And those of us who are doing this as marketing, it's okay. We're still here. It changes. And so I'm telling you all this because I want you to have, I'd encourage you to have honest conversations with your clients in the next couple weeks. Maybe when you give them the next monthly report, and say, hey, some big changes are going to happen. And I don't want you to panic. I want you to know I'm keeping up with it. I'll quote Dave here. He's like, don't worry, I'm part of a mastermind group. We're talking about this together, right? This is something I think Dave said, right? But like, use that. And we'll work through it together, right? Because we'll all be in the same boat.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
have the conversation now, and that will help. Because the other side of this is our clients are about to get inundated with a pile of junk who threaten to have the secret sauce or threaten that SEO is dead, it's going to change. Going to change. But we're doing it the right way that will last the test of time. I was thinking through all the processes and Curious Ants, and I'm like, all right, how do I have to change this? And I was like, analytics still relevant. Monthly dashboard still relevant. Search console still relevant. Keyword research still relevant. Oh, it's all relevant. It's, so the Curious Ants process is going to change very little. There'll be some changes and we'll work through that together. But anyway, I want y'all to have that conversation with your clients. I really highly recommend getting ahead of it just so they don't panic. And then you set yourself up as the expert to come to them and say, I got this email the other day that said SEO is dead. Why am I paying you again? Let's talk about that. Right? Why do people send emails like that? Because they're desperate for business and they're crappy marketers and they're using threats and fear. Meanwhile, we're making you money. Right? So we don't, we're here for you. And that's why I took it as the best compliment when my client's like, we're so glad you're here. Because I was anxious to talk to him. I was like, ho I got to tell you this. I waited to the end of the call so we could cut it off. I was like, it left so good. And I wish that for all of you to have that great, productive, proactive conversation. So I'm cheering you all on. Anything, thoughts you want to add or other things that you think is going to change or not change?
Another thought on that, then I'm glad you brought that up. But I mean, if we're also focused on conversions and helping them make sales, then search is only a part of it, and they'll understand that too. So now the conversation changes is, we want to bring you up in search results, of course, but that's not the only thing.
That's a means to an end, but not the end.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. The fact is, this is how my clients usually work with me. Hire me as a consultant. Dave, we need your help doing this. Okay. After a couple months, gosh, we can't keep up with you. We can't do it all ourselves. Will you do it for us? Yes. I will do it for you. A little more expensive, but I'll do it for you. Okay. So now we're doing a service contract. A couple months later, hey, do you guys have an email list? Oh, we've always wanted to. We just never thought about it. Well, I can do that for you. Right? Or remember how much you spent to go to that conference? Oh, yeah, we spent $20,000 to send all our search reps to that conference, or our sales reps to that conference. How many leads did you get from that? Well, we got good FaceTime was the answer.
Mhm.
You know what I could do with $20,000 in paid search for you? Right? Give me 20 grand and let's see what we can do. Right? And so for most of my clients, I started providing SEO, but because we're focusing on leads, and that's why that first page of that monthly report is so important to identify, oh, Facebook's actually doing pretty well for you. Let's put some more attention into that. Let's put some more thought. Maybe we should pay, right? So we're always looking for the next opportunity. So now all my clients, like the other day, one of my clients said, remember when you used to do SEO for us, David? I'm like, I'm still doing SEO for you, but it's such a small fraction of what I'm really doing for them. They don't think of me that way anymore. I'm like the reliable marketing person that they can turn to. And that is why clients would be like, your budget's kind of a rounding error on how much money we've made. So why would we not keep paying you? And that's what I want for all of you, right? I want you to be a rounding error. That's my goal. Be a rounding error. Why would you not pay for this? We make so much money. Why would you not pay this? Like it's a pittance compared to what we're making. And if we're talking about lead generation, customer acquisition, and sales, we can have that conversation. You pay me this much, you made that much. Pay me more, we'll make more.